Vladimir Putin at this hour. And then after that, he speaks with Zelenskyy from Ukraine. President saying this, posting online, the subjects of the call will be stopping the bloodbath that's killing on average more than 5,000 Russian and Ukrainian soldiers a week and trade, end quote. Jack Keane, retired general, with us now. And sir, nice to have you on. Steve Witkoff's doing a lot of this work, special envoy. Over the weekend, he was talking on ABC and said this about the possibility of stopping the war.
We have to get to a ceasefire. That's the president's position, and we all agree with that position. And most importantly, we have to get to a final peace deal. He's got to get on the phone with President Putin, and that is going to clear up some of the logjam and get us to the place that we need to get to. And I think it's going to be a very successful call.
Hey, all right, that last comment we can only hope for. What is your expectation, General?
Well, I don't think we know. I mean, a couple of perspectives here to help the audience understand. We talk about the killing and want to stop the killing, and that's what President Trump clearly wants to do, and certainly Zelenskyy wants to do that. The overwhelming majority of the Ukrainian people want this war to end. But where's Putin coming at that? He could care less about the killing, Bill. He's taking casualties among his troops now since the beginning of 25, over 40,000 casualties per month. For 24, he averaged over 30,000 casualties per month. He's got new recruits going in that have less than a month's training. They're almost carnage on the battlefield. He doesn't care about any of that. He believes that by stalling all this time, he's putting more pressure on the administration because the administration wants to stop the killing. Zelenskyy wants to stop the killing, and that's why he's been stalling. He also targets civilians purposely to add even more pressure to people who have values and want to stop this killing. I think the president is trying to feel out. He comes at this frustrated, I believe the president does. He's openly admitted it, you know, because of Putin's attitude. He plays nice with Witkoff, and his negotiators play real hard with unreasonable demands that have been made. So what Putin wants is some concessions on some of those unreasonable demands before he would consider a permanent ceasefire, a temporary ceasefire, excuse me, of 30 days. So that's kind of where we are here.
General Keane, I wonder, though, if one of the first questions the president will ask is, why didn't you meet me in Turkey? This was Putin's idea. And it all came around the time that the president was starting to get frustrated with him and started talking about secondary sanctions. The White House this morning, Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, said that everything is on the table, including secondary sanctions. So do you think that the president should maybe give a final warning today?
Oh, I think he absolutely will. I mean, he has got a huge amount of leverage here. He's got clear sanctions that could cripple the Russian economy. It's already having some problems. The Europeans are willing to add to all of that, and he can increase robustly aid to Ukraine without the taxpayers paying a dime for it. Because Ukrainians got collateral in their minerals, and there's other means also to give them direct loans. So he's got a huge amount of leverage with Putin here, and I think that's what Putin's going to try to feel out. On going to Istanbul, that was Putin's ploy because, you know, he's been delaying, and people in the world community was pounding on him that he hasn't made any concessions to go into a temporary ceasefire, and that's why he threw this thing out. Well, I'll talk directly to the Ukrainians. He never said he would, but he meant the Russians would. And I think we called his bluff on all of that, and I think we embarrassed him, you know, as a result of it. We'll see what happens in this phone call today. Okay. They do have a relationship. They're able to talk to each other, and the president certainly is going to probe him on where Putin really is and where he wants to go.
Associated Press, one line here. The call has begun with Putin, and then Zelenskyy comes next. We'll see where it goes. On Iran, you heard the president loud and clear last week in Saudi Arabia, UAE. He said repeatedly Iran cannot have a bomb. Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb program. Here's a statement from Iran's foreign minister about enrichment now, okay? If the U.S. is interested in ensuring that Iran will not have nuclear weapons, a deal is within reach. Enrichment in Iran, however, will continue with or without a deal. General, to you.
Yeah, well, these are intractable positions. I mean, what Iran is laying down on the table, their ploy is this. we are a legitimate nation state, recognized by the United Nations. And any nation that wants to have civil nuclear power is granted permission to do that. And because they're not involved in the proliferation of nuclear weapons, given the amount of enrichments that's necessary for that. He said, why would we be an exception? This is the Iranian position. We should have that capability ourselves. They already have one civil nuclear power plant, and interesting enough, they import uranium from Russia. Our position is, well, your history is completely different than the rest of the nations of the world for the last 45 years. You've been in pursuit of a nuclear weapon. You deny you're not, but that's been disputed significantly by what Netanyahu did in 2018 when he revealed to the whole world the classified documents of their pursuit of a nuclear weapon. So they can't be trusted. And if we give them the capability to enrich uranium, that means the centrifuges and the facilities, that's the equivalent of them moving towards a nuclear weapon.
Right.
Because they'll go to a secret site, cheat, and develop that capability. And that's what's on the table. That's where the big difference is.
The stakes are high, and the stakes are very high for this call as well with President Putin, and it is underway, so we'll see how long it goes. That'll tell us a lot, and then see what the readout is. General Jack Keane, always
Thank you, sir.
See you. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.